Hey, Leo here. Listen, I just wanted to share some words of encouragement for the CEOs, business owners, and executives out there who feel like they are just being inundated with family life crashing and burning while their business life is thriving and vibing. And I know this is such a pervasive problem, and here's why it's such a pervasive problem. It's because of people trying to achieve balance between family life and business life when it's actually not possible. I mean, you got to think about it. You go and separate two things that you want to be able to add value to one another. You put them on opposite sides and pit them against each other and try to put equal amounts in them so that they'll balance. It's not possible, right? It's actually very much impossible because the business life and family life is not designed to be weighed. The unit of measure of using a scale is not applicable for these two because of their nature. And as a result of that, the second problem, which is people feeling like they have to choose between the two. They believe one is more important than the other. And that's actually unnecessary to regard or to give consideration to. These two do not have more importance than one another. They may have more importance at one time or another, and there may need to be more energy put in at one time than the other, but they are not more important than the other. And that leads to the third problem, which is most people really don't know how family life and business life relate to one another. And because they don't know how the two relate to each other, then what happens is there's a frustration between the very constructs of it, and there's a sense that there's confusion and chaos between the two. Why? Because you're trying to do something that's actually impossible. Now, what's the solution? This is the encouragement I want to give you. This is what I want to leave you. How do you stop trying to balance something that's not able to be balanced? Use a different measure. You can't balance family life and business life, but you can align them. You can position them to where they can actually flow in one another. So achieve flow with family life and business life. And then once you do that, then you actually make fuel between the two, meaning you make the two fuel each other. And that's easily attainable when there is a flow type of functionality, when they are aligned in order to reciprocate from one another into one another. Okay. And then the last thing is to create focus, meaning have clarity about what it is that is the nature of family life and business life and how they relate to each other, in this sense that these two functions, which can operate independent of one another, are not designed to operate independent of one another, but interdependent. Okay, such that when you align them to where they actually flow into one another and out of one another, then you don't have to choose between the two. You just make them fuel each other in such a way that their independence actually creates dependent functionality that begins to add value in a unique way. So listen, if your family life is crashing and burning, listen to me. Just know that the reason it's happening is those first three things. You're trying to balance. You're trying to act as though one is more important than the other. You're trying to choose between the two, and you're not sure really how they relate to each other. Just stop doing that. Understand that it's possible to achieve flow between the two. It is possible to make them fuel one another, and for them to be focused in such a way that they add value in the way that they are designed to add value. I know this was valuable to you. I want you to take this, make use of it, share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues, share it with your bosses and your people, because it would certainly be valuable. And it will change the game for you. You take care. This is at the beginning of the year, so I can still say Happy New Year, and you be great. You hear me now?